Hey, good afternoon. This is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy. Hope everybody's having a great Saturday so far. A little warm here in Temecula. Looks like we're probably going to get up in the high 90s again. So today's topic, guys, is about optimizing athletic performance when changing to a primal eating lifestyle, which is most of you known as a ketogenic lifestyle. Higher good fats and very, very low carbs, and combining it with intermittent fasting. By combining these two lifestyles, you're really promoting your body to burn a whole lot of fat. But not only are you promoting your body to become a fat-burning machine, you're also adding a lot of good overall health, which is processed through these two protocols. Especially when it comes to adding lean muscle, especially when it comes to clarity of the brain, and especially when it's actually detoxifying you guys. And so there's a lot of advantages when you're combining a primal eating lifestyle with the intermittent fasting. But science is now showing that these two protocols also are benefiting not only the professional athletes, but it's also benefiting the what you guys might call yourselves weekend warrior athletes, or those of you that are looking to lean down and lose some of that belly fat or hip fat or butt fat or whatever fat you have, and adding more lean muscle to make you more toned. Science is showing how these two protocols are actually showing huge benefits when you initiate them. Now, Emily and I have been doing these two protocols for a few years now, and we've learned a lot. I've also been using them on my 60-day online coaching clients. You guys can go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry. Subscribe to it. I have health videos that talk about different aspects of these two protocols. You can also message me if you want to know more about my 60-day online coaching. But we've been using these protocols on our 60-day online coaching, and we've had to adjust because each individual person's not the same. So obviously there's some adjustments involved. So we've learned a lot through these few years that we've been doing this to ourselves, because we're always experimenting on ourselves, and the ones I've used are the ones I've used in my 60-day online coaching where I've had to readjust them. And so what I want to bring up today, and it's going to be the 6 very important points for you to become successful when you're first starting out at doing the primal eating lifestyle and the intermittent fasting, and combining the both to get the most out of it. And so the number one thing, now this is always going to be number one. This is the number one platform that all of you have to understand is probably the most important that you need to change. You need to understand when you're doing these two protocols, especially when you're doing a prolonged fasting, and I'll explain why, is hydration. Guys, hydration is very important, even if you're not doing the protocols. Most of the public is chronically dehydrated anyway. They don't drink enough water. Think about it. Are you drinking a gallon a day? Are you drinking half an ounce per body weight a day? Most of you aren't. You're substituting water with what? Iced tea, sodas, sports drinks, beer, wine, whatever. You guys really need to understand that the majority of the diseases out there are caused, if not all of them, caused by inflammation. Most of you are chronically dehydrated, which is the root cause of inflammation. When you're doing a primal eating lifestyle, you're combining with intermittent fasting, your body is going to be flushing out more water. And that's why we tell our 60-day online clients they need to work on at least consuming a gallon of water per day. because your kidneys are going to be flushing out the water. Now, also when you're flushing out that much water, you're also going to flush out what? Minerals, or what most of you might know as electrolytes, and we'll talk about that. But the thing is, when you're to be successful at doing these two protocols and doing it prolonged so that you don't quit, the first 60 days is very important to hydrate. Now, most of you are drinking water that's toxic. Those of you that follow me know I talk about hydrogen-rich water. Now, more and more doctors, and there's so much science on it now, it's ridiculous, I can't keep up with it, is that now more doctors are saying that you should change the type of water you're drinking to hydrogen-rich water, which has gone through an ionization system or a device like we have that is going to turn it into the most powerful antioxidant on the planet that has the ability to flush out inflammation, causing many diseases, if not all diseases, and also is structured in a way to hydrate you better at the cellular level. You see what I'm saying, guys? Hydrogen-rich water is known by science as being the best water out there that you could be giving your family, and you need to take the time to investigate this or message me and I'll send you more info. Now, with this video, I will have science backing it up. I've also got a blog post I did that's more specific. So take the time, when I post a video, go to the description section, take the time, and you will see what I'm talking about. Okay? Number 1, hydration. Number 2, replenish your electrolytes. Okay? And how do we do this? Emily and I do Himalayan sea salt that has minerals in it. When you're doing the Primal Eating Lifestyle and you're combining it with intermittent fasting, and those of you that are doing some of the prolonged fasting, got to replace your electrolytes. You got to have a balance of minerals at the cellular level. And by doing it naturally with the sea salt and with foods that have good magnesium, see, magnesium is another issue. That if your magnesium isn't up to balance with your other minerals, you're going to have constipation issues when you first are starting out. So we like to recommend people to go on a good, healthy magnesium supplement, either a liquid form or a good form of magnesium, while their body is acclimating to this new lifestyle to keep the electrolytes. So what we're doing is, I'm telling you what we do and what I have my clients do. The first thing I do when I wake up is I have a quarter teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt, and I drink it with 20 ounces of my hydrogen-rich water right when I wake up in the morning to get my day started, because that's the most important time of the day to hydrate your organs, is after you wake up, because they're dehydrated anyway, and I need to replace the electrolytes. And then after I have my first cup or 2 cups of coffee, I will do another glass with a quarter teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. Then in my drinking water that I take to the gym, I'll put a half a teaspoon per half a gallon, 64 ounces. And I drink it while I'm exercising with the sea salt. Then I come home and I'm going to have another 20 ounces of hydrogen-rich water with a quarter teaspoon of sea salt. And some of you are probably thinking, oh my gosh, your blood pressure is going to go sky high. Hey man, I'm 67 years old. I'm not taking table salt. I'm not taking refined or processed salt. This is Himalayan sea salt that is natural, that's got the natural minerals in it. I'm drinking hydrogen-rich water, which is using the groundwater minerals, which the body recognizes as being good. So I'm drenching myself with electrolytes because I'm doing the intermittent or the Primal Eating Lifestyle. But we're doing a lot of prolonged fastings. We do 18 and 20-hour fastings. And so I got to make sure, and we're very active, so I got to make sure I'm replacing my electrolytes. Most of you will make the mistake of not drinking enough water, the right water, and not consuming enough of the electrolytes while you're doing these protocols, and that'll cause you to fail. That'll cause some of your hormones to increase that will actually make you have an appetite. What we're doing is we are utilizing the hormones that decreases our appetite. That's why we can do these 18 and 20 and 24-hour fastings. We have no issues with hunger before that. And if I do feel like I'm hungry, I just have a glass of water with some Himalayan sea salt. It goes away. Okay, so number 2 is replenish your electrolytes. Number 3, consuming enough fat. Now I'm not talking about bad fat. I'm talking about dietary fat, olive oil, avocados, nuts, olives in your salad, vinegar and oil in your salad. The eggs have good fat in it. Salmon has good fat in it. Grass-fed beef has good fat in it. I'm talking about those kind of stuff. MCT oil, I supplement. I add MCT oil to most of my meals to get the extra fat. Because, see, fat is what you want. That's got the calories you need. That'll increase your calories. And besides, your body has been designed to survive and to produce energy on fat, not carbs. Carbs don't have enough calories in them. You got to increase your fat in order to get the amount of calories. Because if I'm doing an OMAD diet where I'm only eating one meal a day, I'm still going to be getting 18 to 2,000 calories in that one meal because I've increased my fat. So you got to make sure you're eating enough fat also. Now, yes, you got to be careful. You can eat too much, and that's where a coach comes in, because the first 60 days they will teach you, they will coach you, and they will give you recipes, and they will show you the amount of fat you should be consuming either per meal or per 2 meals of the day. Also, protein is a factor. You got to make sure you're eating enough protein also, so that you can make sure you're adding the lean muscle. Now, some of you might be saying, well, too much protein will cause you to gain fat. That's very, very hard to do, and science has completely changed my mind about that, because I thought that too. I thought that if I had too much fat per sitting, that my body would turn that into fat, or too much protein per sitting, my body would turn that into fat, and that's not true anymore. And science is showing this, and actually I've posted that on my blog post. When I post this video, you will see that research that was done, that's not true. It takes an awful lot of protein per sitting to be switched to fat, because your body has mechanisms. Think about your ancestors, okay? They didn't eat every day. They would go 3-4 days without food. But when they caught their food, which is meat, they would consume a huge amount of meat per sitting. Think about that. Now, did they get fat over that? No, they did not, because your body has mechanisms that will flush out the excess amino acids once it's converted to that through your urine or through your perspiration. That's why some of you have that sweet solvent smell, stuff like that. So, number 3, consuming enough protein and fat. You need to know that. Number 4, trust the process. This doesn't happen overnight. Your body does not adjust to fat adaptation overnight. It takes time. And that's where coaching comes in. The coach is going to keep drilling that on you. You got to trust the process. Think about it. If you're doing a primal eating lifestyle, which is high fat, moderate protein, very low carbs, the body is designed to what? Burn fat. High carbohydrates turn to fat, so you're not going to dip into your fat that you have stored to burn. If you're consistently eating carbs for all your 3 or 4 meals and stacking them, the stored fat is never going to be touched by your body. You're going to keep accumulating more and more fat. Okay? So trust the process. You got to give it time. You guys have to give it time. You guys have to give it time for your body to acclimate to it, guys. So remember that. Give it time. I don't know how long it's going to take you to be fat adapted. It may take you 6 months, 8 months, a year. I have no idea. It depends on your body. It depends on how consistent you are, and how and how much your fat content and your protein, all that stuff. And that's where coaching comes in. Okay, number 5. This is where carbs are to be consumed sparingly. Emily and I are consuming about 30 to 20 grams of carbs a day. We do not eat any starchy carbs at all when we're on our Primal Eating Lifestyle. And we are also we're doing certain vegetables that are very low in carbs. Sometimes we don't do any veggies, so don't panic. Your body can survive without carbs. And how does it do that? Well, because it's called glucogenesis. Your brain needs a certain amount of carbs to survive. There's certain parts of your body that has to have glucose that is converted from carbs. Well, if you don't have any carbs at all, your body has a mechanism that makes it. And it's called glucogenesis. So don't panic. You don't need as many carbs as you think. But when you lower the carbs down to 20 grams or less a day, that's when the magic starts. That's when your ketone levels are flying. And that's when you become a fat-burning machine. So you got to keep your carbs strategically low. And and the carbs you need to be eating should be veggie carbs, those kind of carbs. Okay, now my wife, sometimes her body says, well, I need some sweet potatoes, or I need a piece of sourdough bread. She'll have it, but she's fat adapted. And so that's not going to cause her glycemic index to sky high. That's not going to cause the hormone insulin that is designed to store fat to go above base to store fat. She's not, because she's controlled that insulin that is storing fat. Number 5, number 6. This is huge. This is where most people make a mistake. What they do is they'll say, well, I eat out. I'll go out to eat 3 or 4 times a week. And I'm going to order a ketogenic or a primal eating meal from the restaurant, which most restaurants, if not all, you can do that. All you got to do is just say, I want a piece of meat with some butter on it, and I want a moderate portion of string beans or spinach or a small salad. So you got a primal eating meal. That's great. Problem is, guys, those meals are full of carbs and sugars. And you'd be shocked if you were looked at the menu and see exactly how many carbs that so-called primal meal or keto meal had in it. You just blew the whole day because you ate enough carbs to last you for 3 days. You'd be shocked. And that's why you need to limit yourself from going out to dinner. Maybe take your wife out once a week. Try to find a healthy restaurant. And do it that way, but limit the amount of times you go out per week during your first 60 to 90 to 120 days. That, if you're looking to actually lose that belly fat or body fat. Okay, guys? Okay, so those are 6 points that I wanted to bring up. Like I said, my blog post that would be more specific will be on this YouTube description, so you can go to it and read the scientific reports that I have on there. And also, go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it for more health videos, or you can message me if you want to know more about our 60-day online coaching, or if you want to know more about how you can try hydrogen-rich water and sample it at no charge for a few weeks. Okay, guys? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you saw some value in it. If you want to see if you need, I can actually send you the post. If you message me, then I will actually send the post directly to you, and that you can read what I have just said today. Okay, guys? Have a great day. We're going to have a great day. We'll see you guys at the next video. Have a good one. Bye.